this, right? The experience arising now. Um, and so I think in a way that's sort of the most accurate answer. If we are going to be forced to come into language, which is inherently dualistic in its structure, I think the best that language can do is sort of continually deconstruct itself. So if we can just keep pointing to the here and now with just these kind of denotations of this, of here, I think that pedagogically, or in terms of what the Buddhists would call skillful means, in terms of onboarding people to non-duality, the larger kind of population, I think it can be a bit of abstruse or sort of esoteric interest, and I think that's not really serving our world, right? Because we really need the world to wake up. And so I think we also have to be skillful and thoughtful about presenting non-duality in ways that are accessible and that aren't simply playful or mysterious. Because just telling someone, oh, this, that can also be a little bit of a mind fuck, you know what I mean? A little bit of a power move. And so yeah, this is a bit of an alternate definition, which is ultimately kind of speculative, but I think is also super useful for our contemporary, very scientifically inclined world, is one that I get from Michael W. Taft, who's I would consider a mentor of mine. And he talks about, neuroscientifically, we can think about non-duality or non-dual awakening as seeing very clearly experience moment by moment as this kind of virtual representation created by the brain and consciousness. And of course, I say that's speculative because, the brain is in the mind. The brain is also arising in this. So ultimately, we don't have any direct evidence of the existence of some kind of objective brain, right? And, within our kind of scientific paradigm, which is so legible, I think, globally, it's a really useful definition, I think, for a lot of people to start with. And I think it allows for a lot of really clear conversations that allow for bridges to be built between the spiritual community and the scientific community, right? Because a lot of non-duality can be easily shrouded in these kind of mystical sounding words of, luminosity or oneness or unity, et cetera, et cetera. And, we really, it's my heart to really bring non-duality to the wider world, which I think is what this conference is all about, right? And so I think there can be kind of like an ego move or an ego attachment and sort of continuing to hold it close to oneself as something shrouded in this kind of mystery. And so yeah, so I guess I'm sort of answering the question from this sort of more conventional and the ultimate perspective of it is both, this, it's also perhaps a kind of virtual hallucination or controlled hallucination. This is what Anil Seth, the neuroscientist, likes to talk about, rising consciousness, perhaps just created by our brain. And, ultimately it's neither this nor that. It just is. Just like the moon, it's just presencing, it's just bright. Yeah.